trip to your local cinema has the power to change how you see the world.
Looking up at the big screen.
Being surrounded by the big sound.
And being swept up in an epic story.
It's a superpowered experience.
And this summer, where better to experience our new movie, Superman, an epic adventure that belongs on the biggest screen possible.
Get ready to look up.
Welcome back, Super Friends. What's the hubbub? Some reactions from Snarky Jay, and hold my dual shock on Superman having humor. Also, Grace Randolph seems to think the audience for Superman leans majority straight male and hasn't tried to diversify. We then deep dive into a new theory, making some rounds on social media for Ultraman. This character spelled H''ELLA, play on the name. H'El is getting traction from fans. We will check in on some background for this theory in this edition of the Hubbub.
That line of Superman, oh, I'm doing important stuff, and the teeth getting knocked out in slow motion, that to me starts to lean a little too far into the James Gunn, like the Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's not that there's anything wrong with those movies, it's that I don't know that that tone, that attitude is correct for Superman.
James Gunn certainly has an irreverence within his style. Why is that automatically bad for Superman? It's been a part of not only his lore, but comics and superhero movies having some one-liners and humorous moments. All of a sudden, Starlord invented quips.
This usually works.
Well, performance issues, not uncommon. 1 out of 5.
Starlord, on your 3 headed northeast.
What, did you stop for drive-through?
Okay, hold my beer. Hold your own dual shock.
What do you think, Katie?
I'm not happy. The quit messing around shouldn't even be in there. It doesn't fit at all with Superman. The slow-mo of him punching the dude and his teeth coming out, all that reminds me of is the Flash when his tooth fell out. Ugh, which I hated. That was the scene I hated the most from the Flash.
So when I saw this, I was like, Katie's going to like half of it and she's going to despise the other half. Is that fair?
Yes. The beginning part I actually liked.
So this is where it's like a catch-22. This is where it's going to be so hard discussing this film because this looks like Guardians of the Galaxy with Superman. It looks like Guardians of the Galaxy mixed with a little bit of Superman Returns with the cinematography of the Flash because that's who's doing the cinematography.
The last DCEU movies tried to make Superman into more of a Batman take. A traditional Superman is optimistic, hopeful, and often a moral compass for society. The voice and even look of David Corenswet reminds me of Brendan Fraser, who nearly got to play Superman years ago. I believe he will have more range.
Some ancient Egyptian trick, you'll see.
Here, this is for you. Go ahead, it's something I borrowed off our American brethren. I thought you might like it, you might need it for when you're down.
With the character in line with how Fraser may have approached the role. The last version with Cavill started to feel pretty stoic, and one note, really, Snyder's Superman was burdened, much like Batman. His internal struggle about his place in the world mirrors Bruce Wayne's constant guilt and existential angst. Superman's stories in Snyder's films are drenched in shadows, desaturated color palettes, and heavy themes, more in line with Gotham than Metropolis. Even his public reception is fraught with mistrust and fear, much like how Gotham views Batman. James Gunn can have him enjoy helping people for a change, individual saves, and even cats out of trees. You may see him saving men, women, kids, animals, or even misunderstood fantastical beings, perhaps. That is Superman. When I mention Snyder Bros, it is not all Snyder fans. It is a very specific cult segment that try to generate misinformation against the new movie. If you are swept up in the restore movement, you'll eventually see one important fact. David is going to be the Superman that a new generation of kids grow up with. The character is larger than one actor or director's vision. The baton has been passed. Apparently being a traditional hero without reaching towards diversity is an issue to Grace Randolph.
James Gunn's Superman is very straight male friendly. And I think that the film doesn't appeal and has no interest in appealing. It's made no effort to appeal to female audiences and the LGBTQ audience. Beyond those of us who would just like comic books anyway. But I feel that, there's very little there for me. And when I thought about it, as a female viewer. And I thought about it and I was like, that's interesting because Superman is not a really female-friendly character. I think that women like Wanda, of course. I don't think women like Rachel Brosnahan, Mika. I don't think
Sometimes characters are written a certain way and filmmakers will either stray or get back to the fray.
Superman, you must rest.
No can do, 4. I gotta get back to the fray.
See what I did there?
60% male. I think Superman will skew strongly male. We'll see. I might be pleasantly surprised. I would love for the movie to do well.
Personally, I could see core fans disliking the Fantastic Four deciding Sue is the leader. And let's minimize Mr. Fantastic in a Fantastic Four movie. I can't imagine that every LGBTQ person is going to be offended at Lois and Superman having a heterosexual relationship.
I know that you're Superman.
Yeah, but the glasses.
Hey, loser.
You're a loser.
No gender swaps for characters, and yet giving her enough to do as a smart woman, showing why she's the world's best reporter. It's been that way forever. Superman meets his match in Lois, and she meets hers in Superman, who can literally sweep her off her feet. Yes, Star Wars and superhero movies do tend to have a majority audience of straight males. Looking at the casting of the women in the movie, no simping, just a matter of objectivity. It's one of the most beautiful looking ensembles in a superhero movie. He didn't stop to go, oh, she's too pretty, or worry about it being too hetero with eye candy claims. Disney, by some accounts, has been catering to this quite a bit. Has that been working out? Superman has that potential, if good, to hit on all quadrants. Gunn is deciding to bring the adoptive parents back to Midwest humble sensibilities. Gone are the barn mansions. This Superman grows up with less, ultimately gaining so much more.
Son, you don't seem quite yourself.
I'm not who I thought I was.
Your choices. That's what makes you who you are. I couldn't be more proud of you.
I love you, Bob.
It features a male lead who makes it through struggles by being the best man he can be.
My parents sent me here to serve the people of Earth and to be a good man.
That's my greatest strength.
Lois is the relentless searcher of truth, exposing the world through her tenacity. She doesn't have to wear the suit, don the powers, and take over as Super Lois to be strong as a person. Lastly, in the rounds here, there's a theory that Henry Cavill could return to play Superman in the DCU under James Gunn, but with an interesting twist. He might not be playing Clark Kent at all. Instead, some fans are speculating that Cavill could portray H'El, a powerful Kryptonian character who could play a major role in the new Superman story. Summoned by Lex Luthor, essentially. After Cavill's abrupt exit from playing Superman following Black Adam, many fans were disappointed. However, there's still hope for his return. The multiverse, or alternate dimensions, have been a significant part of the superhero storylines. The idea that Henry Cavill could return in a completely different role could be a way to keep his presence in the new DCU without undoing what is being established. Would he accept that? I know Cavill himself wanted to play a bright, hopeful Superman, but maybe if he was sold on a full redemption arc, he'd be down for it. Would Snyder only fans freak out? Would it cause more confusion? Or easily adapted through the alternate dimension idea? This could allow Cavill to explore a darker character in a way that wouldn't necessarily interfere with the upcoming Superman starring David Corenswet, which is expected to introduce a fresh take on Clark Kent. H'El could serve as a kind of mirror to Superman, a reflection of what Clark might have become under different circumstances. Oh, Spider-Man and Marvel? Your fans were down for moving on, yet also uniting them all. While DC fans continue to divide, I am quite happy to see a Clark that differentiates himself more and exploring his time at the Daily Planet.
Superman's butt.
Dating completely.
To be pulverized. No, come on.
With the small glimpses already of David's take in trailers and spots. This was a missed opportunity from Snyder's movies. I still tend to believe it's unlikely, but a fun theory to review. That covers today's edition. Look up, not back with eyes to the skies.
This order's to go. I'm terribly sorry about all the damage, sir. Well, I've been working out.
Superman.
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 Superman. Superman.